Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Jeremy here, your favorite reselling coach at school.com/reselling. One perk about reselling is the time flexibility. And I have mentioned, so there's multiple dimensions of this, okay? And I have mentioned already, like hours per week, time commitment. There is a ton of flexibility. You absolutely can make meaningful money, thousands of dollars a month, working 4 hours a week or less in reselling. Absolutely, you can do that. 100% you can do that. And there's not a lot of businesses that you can make good money in such little time. Seriously, I'm talking all factors of time, okay? The learning and the buying and the selling and the messaging and the picking it up. And I'm saying 4 hours a week or less, thousands of dollars a month of profit for sure. And you could make more and you could spend more, like as much time as you want to give to it. There is more work you can do, and the more work you do, the more money you can make. And so of course, that flexibility is huge in terms of the scalability of time. That's huge for a couple reasons too. So one reason is, like, you might have a full-time job and that might like limit how much time you can put in per week into reselling. And so it's like other businesses, if it's going to require you to work 5 nights a week for 3 hours a night, it's like, man, that's a high cost. If that's basically the rest of your life that you have to offer, you know, like that's it. That's 10 toes down, all in. Whereas reselling, you can do it in such a little amount of time that even with a full-time job, you could scale a reselling business to make even more than your full-time job does, and still keep doing your full-time job. You don't have to quit, you know? So it's, you know, the flexibility matters a lot for that. But also, let's say you're a full-time entrepreneur and reselling is the only business you run. That flexibility of time is significant because life ebbs and flows. Life is not like the same exact week every week. I mean, maybe it feels that way to you, but you'd probably like life more if it didn't feel that way to you. What I mean is, some weeks you might want to bust out a 60-hour week and like, let's push it out, like let's grind some work and let's go make some money. And the next week you might want to go on vacation. You might want to go spend time with family. You might want to go travel somewhere. Or you might want to spend some extra time with your kids, or there might be a house project you need to take care of, or a medical appointment that eats into your week. And so great. Like, reselling is such a great business with the time flexibility because of the ebbs and flows of life. And so it's not just, hey, you can work only 4 hours a week every week forever, or you can work 60 every week forever. It's like, hey, you can change it every week, how much you're putting to it. You're not stuck ever with any type of a specific time requirement. And that's huge. I mean, that's like, it's really valuable. It's hard to, like, if you don't have that already in life, it's hard to express how valuable that feels. That like any amount of hours, plus or minus, you can spend on something that feels more important to you than making money, if you want to, and you can spend in the business. There are some businesses that maybe make good money and take 20 hours a week, but if you were to spend 40 hours a week, there would be like an intense diminishing return. Like, there's maybe not that much work to do. Like, yeah, I mean, you could just keep like DMing people or like creating content to like try to generate sales for something, you know, some type of marketing business. Okay, great, but you still don't know if there's even going to be a return on that. Whereas with reselling, like, any more hours you want to give, you will make a return on those hours. Like, you will get paid well per hour for your time, no matter how many hours you want to give to it. And that's awesome. That's really awesome. The other aspect of the time flexibility that I want to hit on real quick is it's not just the flexibility of changing week to week, it can also change season to season. So with reselling, there's not really lost momentum if you go from, hey, I just spent a year working 40 hours a week in reselling, and now I'm only going to work 1 day a week in reselling. Like, you don't lose momentum that way. Like, and then you can do 1 day a week for the next 10 years of your life. Or you could say, like, literally, okay, let's get even more extreme and just talk about my actual life. I started ramping up reselling in 2020. I started making, thousands of dollars a month of profit just doing it a few hours a week out of my garage. And you know what I did in the fall of 2020? I said, all right, cool, that was good. I'm going to stop. Because life was picking up again. I was in the middle of planting a church, which was very time intensive, a labor of love, if you will. And so I paused, like I didn't do anything. Or let's say for you, it's maybe you didn't, like maybe you get burnt out and you're like, man, I'm just tired of it. I don't want to do this. Okay, great. I went, how long? 2 years before then, subleasing a warehouse space and ramping back up from scratch my reselling business. But what I'm trying to say is it wasn't from scratch, because there was still some momentum built. And of course, skills developed, experience developed, inventory developed from when I did it out of my garage, but also momentum. Like my online profiles, like you don't lose your reviews, like you still have those reviews there. You still have maybe some followers from people who were like, whether on eBay or Facebook, whatever, that were like keeping track of the things you have available for sale. And so when you post something 2 years later, like I took 2 years off, and then I start, and then boom, we're making thousands and thousands of dollars, and there's not a lot of businesses that you can turn on and turn off for any amount of time. It could be a month. You just need to take a month off. It could be the summer off. You want to take summers and travel in the summers. It could be, like I said, you get maybe other priorities come into play. Another business starts taking off for you, or you get burnt out, and so you need an extended season. Like the flexibility of time with reselling is like, it's hard to match that. It's hard to match that. Like, you got YouTubers out there that are like, oh, look how much I'm crushing it on YouTube, yada yada. And they become slaves to the system, right? It's like you like work for YouTube. Like, I'm not trying to get another employer, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is like, okay, I gotta post 3 days a week at, or 7 days a week, or whatever the frequency is. And there becomes this machine of feeding the beast. Anything you do that's SEO driven, a website, products, like digital products or drop shipping, so many side businesses, even like so many service businesses, like BR Legacy. I manage money for people. Or you could do something else. It could be power washing or whatever, like photography. It can be maybe hard to, like, I'm going to take 2 years off and then start again, for people to feel like, how do I know that you still have it? Like, you could still do that. Like, you could still do that with some other businesses, and to varying degrees, particularly if you are developing a skill. But like BR Legacy, it would be hard. Like, it'd be hard to just like, I'm just going to stop for 2 years. Like, no. Like, ain't no way I'm doing that. Because I would lose so much value. Like, the business would hurt if I did that. And it just wouldn't make sense. And so with reselling, which I'm not going to do that with reselling at this point either, because I don't want to, but like, I could, and it would totally be fine. Like, I would be able to pick back up where I left off. And that flexibility of time within week to week, day to day, but also season to season, It's a perk. It's a perk for sure. So if you're thinking about jumping into reselling, or if you've done some reselling and looking to scale, I'm happy to work with you, happy to coach you to get you to that 6-figure income. Plus, hit me up at school.com/reselling. All right, that's all I got for y'all today. Talk to you soon.